Welcome to the Magical Traveling Moms Podcast, where your hosts, Tina and Colleen, talk about all things travel. From theme parks to cruises to all-inclusive resorts and more, they cover news, tricks, and insider tips to inspire your travel dreams. They love to travel and want you to love it too. Find out their best-kept secrets and learn how to make your next vacation extra magical, right here on the Magical Traveling Moms Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Magical Traveling Moms Podcast. My name is Tina and I am joined by my lovely co-host, Miss Colleen. And our topic today is actually our favorite moderate resorts at Walt Disney World. But before we get to that, let us take a moment to thank the sponsors of our show, Mystical Dream Travel. Mystical Dream Travel is an earmarked travel agency and an authorized Disney vacation planner with Disney destinations, and they specialize in Disney. You can check them out for Universal, all-inclusive resorts, cruises, and the best part is their services are complimentary when you choose to book with them. So ready to plan your vacation, be sure to reach out to the wonderful agents over at Mystical Dream Travel. You can check them out on social media or check them out at mysticaldreamtravel.com. So, hey, Colleen, how are you?
Hi, Tina. I am great. How are you?
I'm doing good. We are back from a 2-week hiatus.
I know, right? It went by fast, though.
It did go by fast. So we are back, and today I thought we could talk about our favorite Walt Disney World moderate resorts. I don't think we've ever discussed moderate resorts before.
I don't think we have. And they are some of my favorite overall resorts at Disney. So I'm excited for this topic.
Yeah, I know. Mine too. So, well, they actually have 5 moderate resorts, one that you may not even think is a moderate resort. So they have Caribbean Beach, which is a popular resort for many because it's on the Skyliner, so it makes it really nice and easy. Coronado Springs, which is also very lovely. I've stayed there many times. Port Orleans Riverside, Port Orleans French Quarter, and the one that might shock people is the Cabins at Fort Wilderness is actually a moderate resort.
And I think that you do, like, even though I know it is, I forget sometimes, yeah, that's right. There's those cabins at Fort
Wilderness. Yes.
And they're nice for a moderate. I mean, they're very large.
They are nice. So if you have a big family and you want a little extra space, and you kind of like what we call glamping, not camping,
I was going to say, that's the only way I will be staying at the campground.
Yes, in the cabins. Yes. And it's beautiful over there. I mean, there's so much to do. We probably should take a deep dive just in that resort alone on one of our episodes, because it actually is gorgeous and there are a lot of things to do. And what's nice about it too, it is in the Magic Kingdom area. It's the only resort in that area.
I think it's a sleeper, underrated resort that people don't think about, but absolutely, that would be really fun to do. We should do that. Maybe we'll have to stay there and just find out all the things first.
We should or take a tour. So let's talk about which one have you not stayed at? So I've only have not stayed at 2 of them.
I have only not stayed at one of them.
Ooh, okay. So mine too is Caribbean Beach. I've never stayed there.
Really?
Yes, it's very surprising. It's always on my list, but I always change when I'm doing water. And the cabins at Fort Wilderness, I've never.
The cabins are the only one that I have not stayed at.
Okay,
I've stayed.
At all the other ones.
I have.
Nice. So. Which one? I have my favorite. I'm ready to go with my favorite. So, and which one is your favorite moderate resort at Walt Disney World, and why?
That's hard, because they're all really nice.
They are.
I've stayed at Caribbean Beach Resort the most number of times out of all of them. But Port Orleans French Quarter, I don't know. Gosh, I'm torn. I'm Port Orleans French Quarter and Riverside are both nice, but really like the ambiance at French Quarter. But I also love Coronado Springs. Gosh, why is it so hard to pick a favorite? You know what? I think if push came to shove, I would probably say Coronado Springs.
That's where you would stay. Okay. So you
and you know what's funny is that when I first started being a travel agent and helping people plan vacations to Walt Disney World, for whatever reason, I'd never stayed there before, but for whatever reason, Coronado Springs was like at the bottom of my list. I was like, I don't ever recommend that to anybody. I didn't even quote it for people, but I don't know what happened, but now it's like one of my favorite resorts.
I think it's the tower. The addition of the Gran Destino Towers there kind of leveled it up. So it almost feels like if you stay in the towers, so I mean the whole resort, I've stayed there many, many times. So many times my family has asked me not to stay there for a while. So but I think that if you stay in the towers, it almost gives it a deluxe feel.
Oh yeah, the tower has a very deluxe feel to it. The rooms, the lobby, oh my gosh, that lounge downstairs with the fancy coffee bar and all the artwork. And then the regular room, so you're right, like Coronado Springs has like the regular resort, the resort that was there originally. And then those rooms were renovated not that long ago, a few years ago, and they did a really great job. Like I stayed at them right after they were renovated, and I was like, wow, these are nice, like really nice. And then you have the tower, which is pretty new, and that's in case people don't know, inspired by a short that Walt Disney did with Salvador Dali. That's like really funky, artistic short. And so there's so much beautiful artwork and colors. The colors, like in the lobby, there's all those beautiful lights that change colors. Like it's stunning just to walk through there. But aside from all of that, probably one of the reasons why I picked it as my favorite is because of all the food options at Coronado Springs.
They do. Our favorite thing to do when we stay there is actually to go to the rooftop bar. Have you been?
Oh, the Dahlia Lounge by Toledo. There is so much good food. And I would say that also makes it feel more like a deluxe resort.
I agree.
Because of all the food. Like there's so many food options. You have the Three Bridges Grill, which is fantastic. And then you have the Rick's inside the main lobby area, plus the Maya Grill. Rick's breakfast is awesome. But anything at Rick's, it's like a great sports bar. And then you have the Toledo, which is a very fine dining, like tapas restaurant on the rooftop of the tower, which I have dined at and is amazing. Like it's one of the best restaurants at Disney.
It is. I mean, and that gives it a very deluxe feel. And that's why I think we also sell it a lot more on offer to our clients, because people who they want to be in a deluxe, but they don't necessarily have the budget. So Coronado Springs is like the perfect solution to that. Because you're staying in that, and the views in the Gran Destino Towers and the rooms are amazing. So you have water views, garden views. I mean, I've even stayed there where we've had the parking lot view, and it was amazing. Like, it was still gorgeous. We still got to see
it's a beautiful resort. The grounds, the architecture, the pool area, like it's a very cool resort. It's hard to pick though, because Caribbean Beach Resort we've stayed at multiple times, and I love the pool there so much. I'd say that's one of my family's favorite pools, and then being on the Skyliner gondola is like a huge plus.
That is a huge plus. So it is hard to pick this one because you like them for different reasons, but I'm like you. So if push came to shove, my absolute favorite resort is Port Orleans Riverside.
Oh,
I love that resort. I have been staying there since it was called Dixie Landings.
Yeah, no way.
We went on our honeymoon there, and it was called Dixie Landings at the time. And so we've stayed there a few times. And it's also the very first resort we stayed at when we took Sarah to Walt Disney World for the first time. So it has a lot of special meaning, to our family, although I haven't stayed there in a while. But I love the resort. Yeah, I love it. It's just very quaint. It's very
quiet and peaceful.
Yes, that's what I was just going to say. It's very quiet and peaceful. It's connected to French Quarter. So it's like you get 2 resorts for the price of one, because you can use the amenities at either one, whichever one you're staying at. They have horse-drawn carriage rides, which is very nice.
So beautiful.
Yep, we've done that. You can fish there. And they also have a boat ride down to Disney Springs, which is
really nice.
Yeah, it's very relaxing in the evening. It's you kind of get to see you actually get to see Saratoga Springs and Key West, but you get to see the tree houses, which is
you go right by them on the ferry boat.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a nice perk, I will say.
I agree.
I do have a lot of people that go to either of those, Port Orleans, Riverside, or French Quarter, and I always say, like, Riverside is like very quiet and peaceful. It's great for like adults, or if you're like multi-gen, your grandparents, like older, like, because it's got a very elegant feel too, because the buildings are those like big Southern mansion. That's what they look like, is giant Southern mansions, right?
Yeah,
with the fountains in the front. And
yes, so you can go from the bayou to the mansion. You can stay on the bayou side. Have you ever done? I've stayed.
You know what? It's funny. I've only ever stayed on the part that looks like the mansions, and I don't even think I went over to the bayou side. So I don't think I've seen those buildings.
Yep. So I've stayed in all categories. I've stayed in the bayou. I've stayed in the mansion. I've stayed in the royal guest room.
That's what I stayed in, the royal guest room.
Yes. So the royal guest room is beautiful. So they have these royal guest rooms that's absolutely gorgeous. So it's really fun now. And French Quarter is a little more lively. So
the French Quarter, it's very upbeat, and they have fun a lot. I love how Disney is beautiful, is great at telling stories and having amazing immersiveness. And one of the things that they do at their resorts is they have the music.
Yes.
And I think like it's almost like you don't even necessarily realize it's there when you're there, but each resort has its own soundtrack. And at French Quarter, it's just like fun, like jazz, like you're at Mardi Gras, like music. And it really gives it an upbeat feel. Like you just feel really upbeat while you're there. And I think it's because of the music.
Yes. And the difference between the 2 resorts, French Quarter, if you want something a little bit more smaller and more intimate, I would recommend doing French Quarter, where Riverside's a little bit bigger,
more spread out.
It is definitely more spread out, but Riverside also has a sit-down restaurant called Boat Rights.
That is a sleeper restaurant. A lot of people don't know about, but it's super good.
They have amazing cornbread and amazing pot roast, just saying.
It is like really, really fantastic, and a lot of people don't know about it.
Right, exactly. It's so good. And then they also have the Yeehaw Bob.
I know. I was just gonna say Yeehaw Bob.
Yeah, he's so fun. That's over that's the River Roast Lounge. So it's right when you come into the resort. It's off to the left, I believe.
Yeah, and I think he's there most nights.
I think so. And it's just fun, family fun. It's family fun. So
how many years Yeehaw Bob has been playing at Port Orleans Riverside?
It's been a long time, I think.
Right.
I thought he recently celebrated a pretty big anniversary.
Wow. Yeah. It's a, like, you have to get that. You have to watch that show at least once. Like, while
it's so fun. So fun. So, and it's just like, that's probably my absolute favorite modern resort. Just, it has a lot of sentimental value for my family personally. And the grounds are beautiful. I mean, all the grounds at all the resorts are gorgeous because they're themed, but I think because of the type of the theming there, the grounds are just gorgeous, beautiful plants and flowers, and and I love the food court there. is
great
amazing.
food at both of those resorts.
They do. Absolutely. Absolutely. I will say at French Quarter, the food court's a little bit smaller. Whereas over at Riverside, there's like more options, I think. So it's
I think so. But it's nice you can go between the two. Yes. And it's funny because when you were asking me like which one's my favorite, I mean, you know me, like my brain immediately goes to food. Yes. And I was almost swayed to go with French Quarter just because of the Mickey shaped beignets.
Oh yes, they're good.
The Mickey shaped beignets, they are addicting. I don't know. And you can only get them at French Quarter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I would go to, even if I wasn't staying at French Quarter, I would go there and just to have a Mickey shaped beignet.
Yes. And you can get them with chocolate sauce. Like you can get some dipping sauce with it, but you can also get them with some alcohol.
I know. I have actually not ever tried that. I don't know.
You haven't? Oh my gosh.
No, because the last couple of times I went, they didn't have it.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, because I think it was like during COVID, like, you know, like it was like right after they had reopened and things weren't hold 100% back up and running or something.
Okay.
So I don't know. I've just never had the opportunity to get it with the liquor, but
they're good. I'm not gonna lie.
On my list, but I mean, honestly, I just like them just all by themselves with the powdered sugar, like straight out of the bag. Like that's
good too. You don't even need dipping sauce.
Like if you're staying at Port Orleans French Quarter, that's how you start your day, is with a coffee and a Mickey shaped beignet. Like what other better way could you start your day? Like I can't.
I agree. I mean, I would say staying there takes the place of the Mickey waffles. You know what I mean? Because you want the Mickey waffles, but if you're French Quarter, you got to get the beignets.
You got it, Mickey beignet. I would choose Mickey beignet over Mickey waffles every day, all day long. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, so good, so good, so good. So, any other thoughts on the other resorts? So I haven't stayed for me.
I feel like we've talked about all of them except the one neither of us have stayed at, which is the cabins.
Wilderness. So
which are great because you get a kitchen. So you get a lot of people who want to have a kitchen. I don't know why. Personally, don't cook on vacation. I'm on vacation. I'm not cooking. But there are people who think they want to cook on vacation.
They do. Yes. Yeah, I get it.
So which is fine. But that is a really affordable way to have a bigger, more like, because it's like your own little cabin. So you have a living room and a kitchen, and they even have little grills outside. So they have a camp store, and you can buy food and make it there. But there is so much cool stuff to do at the Wilderness.
I think the cabins would be perfect and ideal if you're going for a longer trip. That's like, if you're doing like 4 or 5 night, I don't know if I would. That would be, you wouldn't benefit.
To enjoy the campground because there's so much stuff at the campground. Also, I hesitate to send people there if they're flying and not driving, because the resort is huge. The campground is giant, and they have an inter-resort bus system. That's how big it is.
Yes.
So they have to have an inter-resort bus system to get you from one point of the resort to the other. Like it's just kind of a pain to get around. So if you have your own car, it's a lot easier, or you can rent a golf cart.
I was just going to say, you can rent a golf cart.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people
don't have a car, you want to rent a golf cart.
Yes, because it is really big, but the resort itself is beautiful. Like you said, there are a lot of things to do. The Hoop-Dee-Doo review is over there, which is fun. I love that show. I got to see it recently on my last trip, and it was amazing. I loved it. I'd never seen it before. So really,
that is a favorite. Yeah.
Yep. They also they have the horses that are in the parade.
The Circle D Ranch, is that what it's called?
Yes. So you actually can go over and tour that and see that.
And I think they have pony rides too.
They do. And nightly campfires with Chip and Dale.
The Chip and Dale sing along. Like, I mean, characters go around to the different resorts. You know, you see characters at the resort, you know, like just hanging out in the lobby or walking around,
right,
but
right.
not quite like that. Like that's like
yes.
pretty cool, special thing that you can only experience there.
Yep, I agree. And you actually can sit, they have a beach like there, and you can sit on the beach and watch the fireworks from Magic Kingdom.
I know. And that's the real big thing about the Fort Wilderness Campground is how close you are to Magic Kingdom. And they have a ferry boat, a water taxi that will take you to Magic Kingdom. And I think that's a huge plus for staying there.
I agree. I 100% agree. The resort is, like I said, it's beautiful over there, and so many benefits to staying there. And it is considered, the cabins are considered a moderate. So if, you know, I wouldn't be afraid to stay. A lot of people are like, oh, it's like camping, but it's really not.
Not in the cabins.
Yeah. No, not at all. Yeah. So you're in a cabin. You're not in a tent, because people do tent camp there.
You can absolutely tent camp and
RV. The RV is really big. So if you have an RV and you want to go there, what I will say about that is you need to book it early, because those fill up super fast. They really do. This resort is very popular for those that have RVs. So
but the cabins are a great idea. But I agree with you. If you're going to stay there, you really want like a week, because you want to have a couple of days to just hang out at the campground.
Yeah, because there's so much to do there. Yeah, there is really
much. Oh my gosh, it's pretty crazy how many activities they have for kids and adults and just things to do. And then they have got a lot of, like you said, they have the Hoop-de-Doo, and then they also have Trails End, which is a really good restaurant. I love Trails End. Ooh.
Go over just for that.
I know. I'm like, I mean, I've gone over there just to eat at Trails End. Yeah. Because it's so tasty. So good. Yes. But I really, moderate is my favorite category. I think, well, I don't know. I mean, I am a deluxe girl too, but I think all the moderate resorts are solid choices. Like there isn't any resort in the moderate category that I would not stay at.
No, I agree. And the nice benefit about the moderates is that you get some amenities that you don't get at the value resorts. And what's really nice too, and we didn't mention this, is that all the pools at the moderates have water slides.
Yes.
And you'd be surprised at how important that is to people, because on your pool day, you want to be able to do all kind of fun, different activities. And that slide really does keep kids busy, because they're going up and down all day long. So they do have that. And then they have like some of them have different modes of transportation, like Orleans Riverside has the boat over to Disney Springs, and Caribbean Beach has the Skyliner.
Except Coronado doesn't. They just have the buses. But.
Yeah, that's all they have. But Coronado makes up for it with the amazing dining options.
I'm just saying the food at Coronado is awesome.
Yep. And even Caribbean Beach has a sit-down restaurant.
Yeah, they all have a sit-down restaurant.
Yes.
Well, French Quarter and Riverside share the sit-down, but yeah, that's another distinction. But also back to the pools, in addition to water slides, there's hot tubs.
Yes,
you don't get that at value. Value resorts do not have hot tubs. I'm a hot tub girl, so this is important to me.
And I love to just actually go sit on the edge of the hot tub at the end of the day.
Yeah, soak your feet.
My feet in it, because it saves you a ton for the next day. So
absolutely, there is nothing that feels better after a long day in the parks than like sitting in the hot tub and just letting your legs.
Yes, taking your shoes off and soaking your feet. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. So I agree. I think the moderates are like a solid choice no matter which way you go, because there is so much there that you can do, and so many amenities and different perks that you don't get, that you're paying at a moderate price, and it's still, a great value. It really is a great value. And the bus transportation is, I think, better than staying at the value. Is just my opinion. They run more frequently, I think, and each now French Quarter and Orleans, I think, share sometimes buses every once in a while. Yep. So it makes like a loop, but for the most part, like it's really, therefore they run a little more frequently. So if you have an opinion on a resort, moderate specifically, if you stayed at a moderate, please let us know what you think in the comments. We'd love to hear what you have to say. So thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to us. And don't forget, we are on YouTube as well. So you want to make sure you follow us and give us a like and hit those notification buttons so you never miss an episode. So until next time, may all your vacations be extra magical.